talking about stories today, and stories are important. One of the best definitions of a human being I ever read is that we are an ape that tells stories, and everything is about stories. For those of you who don't know, probably isn't that many of you, I run a bookstore, and I sell a mix of erotic fiction and books on how to do different things. I also do occasionally run workshops on writing erotica. And about 5 or 6 years ago, I was at an event and I did a workshop on random factors and dice, at the end of which several attendees, including the late and much loved Victoria Bliss, said, there really ought to be a whole book of these charts. I'm like, yes, that's a good idea. I'll make one. Now, dice writing is not a how to be a writer book. It is a method of having fun. It's writing toys to play with. So we're going to start with the story writing aspect, and then we're going to finish with ways of adapting it for creative role-play scenarios. Because immersive role-play can also be a lot of fun. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fuck about and have some fun. And this is a very participatory workshop. We are going to start with some building blocks for a silly story that if you shared it outside this room might land you in a spot of legal trouble, so don't, or at least adapt before you do. So, I want 6 famous people, preferably ones who you can think of having sex.
Nicholas Cage. Patrick Stewart. Tom Hiddleston.
Okay.
Nicholas Cage.
Tom. Okay. Right, I would like some femme presenting characters, please.
Joan of Arc.
No, current famous person.
Okay.
We're going to move on to.
Angelina Jolie.
I've written this.
Zendaya.
Zendaya. Or is that A-N?
Meryl Streep.
Ooh, good choice.
One more femme presenting or lady, please.
Angelina Jolie. Oh, another good choice.
That was my choice.
Another good choice.
That's my choice. Two of my choices.
Beckinsale, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, Beckinsale.
Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Roll your dice, once per person, and write down who you get. Where's the board wiper?
Just there.
Everybody got a name? Right, this is a whiteboard, so we're going to have to keep wiping off between each turn, but never mind. Or I'll write smaller. Right, I now want 6 famous fictional characters. Doesn't have to be books, can be TV or films.
Batman. Captain Kirk. Batman.
So, 2 Batman.
Batman.
What's a good one?
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Oh, good choice.
Michael Crichton.
Red Dwarf, isn't it?
Red Dwarf. Farscape. Oh, yeah.
Ah.
Okay.
I was going to say Jabba the Hutt. I'd be really bad at
Need some girls. We need some girls.
Yeah, need some
Black
Widow.
Black Widow.
it. Call it Alice in Wonderland.
Right, we are done. We have 6 characters. Roll your dice again, please. See what you get, write it down.
I think I've read this fan fiction. Very similar one.
One time I did this and we ended up with Tintin with Idris Elba.
Wow.
That's not coming out quite good, actually.
Tintin is the top. Yeah.
That bit I can't remember. I think they ended up having a bath together.
there.
Okay, everybody got a name?
Choices.
Marvellous. Leave the numbers up. Right, we need 6 kinks or sexual acts.
Got blowjob.
Cock worship, thank you.
15.
Punching.
Spanking.
Just thinking of the possible combinations. sounds like the early range of Cards Against Humanity. Flogging.
Pleasure dog. Okay. Okay, roll your dice.
So far, we're getting close to a game of Cards Against Humanity that I once played with somebody.
What comes out? Has everybody got something? Right, you have about 3.5 minutes. Come up with a scenario featuring the 3 things you have got. Who does what to who?
Okay, that can sound.
If you're feeling very productive, you can have a little setup, but just, concept. We're building a little scene here.
But she just starts fighting about it. Yeah, she would as well. Especially when she's in the Matrix. Yeah, not the Matrix. Underworld. Sorry. That's
And bullshit in Van Helsing.
Yeah.
I never saw that person. How bad is that?
It's an average
No,
film.
I'm
It's quite
trying to
good
think.
fun.
No, sorry.
One curly hair, gun, she had a pistol, a really nice horse.
Yeah, my
It's
skin.
in the picture.
An awful lot of writers start out with fan fiction. I mean, when I was very young, I didn't know it was called fan fiction. It was pre-internet. But I started writing root stories about either pop stars I fancied or TV characters I fancied. And you change the name and the hair colour of that, and you put yourself into the story, having fun with them. And that is kind of how most people start out. You start with your building blocks, and then you play about and see what happens. So I will give you a minute or 2.
Rice is a sleeping beauty.
Exactly. Taking a story and going somewhere else with it, I think we probably, well, apart from My Immortal, one of the best examples of what completely fucked up juxtaposition is Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice with zombies.
That was superb.
That exists. It's actually quite good.
That was quite a good film, actually. It's absolutely belter. Well, they're not as good as Cockneys versus Zombies, because that's just absolutely legendary.
That's one of the so bad it's brilliant films,
Yeah.
isn't it?
It's got the guy who used to be in, what's the one where they had the gardening, and they had posh neighbours, and they were doing their own living off the land.
Oh, Richard Briers.
Yeah.
Good life, yeah.
Well, you know how fast a zombie moves? Can you imagine it chasing a guy in a Zimmer frame? Legendary scene. The zombie's going, oh, the guy in Zimmer frame, I'm trying to get away. And they're moving at exactly the same speed.
Just admit, one of my favourites so bad it's brilliant films has to be Razor Blade Smile. Eileen Daly, only woman I've ever seen be out-acted by her own footwear.
Speaking of footwear, may I just say they are the most amazing shoes I've seen
I am
today.
very fond of these.
They are the best shoes I've seen today.
What's those things?
I'm a Bigfoot person, but the brand is called Hot Chocolatica, and they seem to be online only. And yeah, when I saw these come up on my social media, it was anybody bought shoes from these people? Are they all right? Because you know, Wish, Temu, all that sort of thing.
Mm.
This looks great. It's shit, but people go, oh, I've got some shoes from them. They're actually really good. I bought some.
I'll take it there tend to be taxis.
Yeah, I think this checker cab is a reference,
Yes.
but of course my brand colours are black and yellow.
And
so-
why not? For the win.
Right, has everybody got a bit of a something? Okay, who's going to be first to tell me what they've come up with? Go on then, what we got?
Loki, Tom Hiddleston, tortures Deadpool for information with nipple torture. Does not work very well as his nipples keep growing back. There are many jokes. Perhaps a Bo Canada reference. And he tells them in the end after he's let go.
Fabulous. Somebody from this side.
Mine's pretty short. Zendaya and Black Widow take turns touching Nice.
Good, and so from over this side? No? Anyone else?
Oh.
Everybody's been out by
Okay, I've got Zendaya and Deadpool. You're gonna love this. Zendaya's rubbing lube up her arm. I know, she says. I've been wanting to do this a long time. That's it.
Fix the washing machine.
Okay, now we're going to move on to something a little bit more advanced. And this time I'm actually going to write down what comes up on the chart so I know a little more what to expect. And these are charts that what I prepared earlier, i.e. they're in the book. So I need the copy of the book with. Right, we are going to go a little more advanced. We're going to see if we can come up with the basics of a story. Again, we're not looking for your beautiful prose here, we're just looking for a sort of setup of what you might do. So we're going to start with your protagonist. Every story starts with a character. A character is someone who likes something, who wants something, who is seeking something. So our character, sex, gender identity, all completely up to you. This is someone who kinks on high protocol, spanking, group sex, rope, edge play, orgasm control.
Sounds like Friday.
Not all at once. That will keep you busy for more than just an afternoon. So roll your dice and see what you get.
High profile, spanking, group sex, educate, orgasm.
Good. Actually, Friday.
Which one would you say?
Let's see what we're doing here.
Dice generator, to be fair. Give it 3. Spanking, isn't it? Keep straightforward.
Has everybody got something?
Go on, what you know.
Right. When you begin a story, somebody's normally in a particular state of mind. I mean, generally, if a story starts with somebody just pottering about and having their breakfast and putting their shoes on and so on, it's not always a very good start to put you in. When you do your first draft, you might often start with someone getting up, having a cup of tea and wine or whatever. Well, I don't know, that's how I stuff my mornings, but still. So you've got a state of mind that your protagonist is in, and we're going to have some options here. Number one, your protagonist is feeling vengeful. Number two, they're horny. Number three, they're calm.
That's eventful.
Number four, they are happy. Number five, they're scared. Given the list of options I put up earlier, I'm not surprised. And number six, they're feeling loving. Roll your dice. What do you get?
So far, it's just not happy enough. I think mine does.
You can,
Romantic.
yeah, we've got the third element to come in. Everybody got something written down? Okay, we are now going to have an object which is important to the story. Number one, which mercifully we don't have today, a faulty microphone. Number two, a whip. Number three, a nude photograph. Again, it doesn't matter who it's of. That bit you get to choose yourself. Number four, a ring. Bear in mind that the ring doesn't need to go on your finger, it could be a ring that goes somewhere else. Which, I'm sidetracking back to my last workshop I conducted, which was about alternative ceremonies. The first one I ever conducted, I got to the point where it's like, you may now exchange your choice of ring. It wasn't going on his finger. Enter the body piercer. I looked down at my script book very, very hard. I'm not good on needles. All right, option 5. A bottle of lube. That might be more interesting. Another option for another time. 6, a musical instrument. Bear in mind that musical instruments can involve possible sexual antics. They can be used as instruments of torture, or indeed can somebody plays a certain musical instrument, makes them extra attractive. Roll your dice. You know, they say hell is a room full of other people's children behind the recorder.
Lube photography, I'm just reading. A ring, bottle of lube, a musical instrument.
Has everybody got something? Right, does anybody feel so dissatisfied with their options they would like to change one? Okay, roll your die again, see if you get an odd or an even number. Anyone who wants to do this. Odd or even? Even, right. You get to drop the one you don't like and work with the other two.
Sorry, what's that second next instruction?
It's like if you're dissatisfied or even if you just want to see what happens, roll again. Odd, you get to drop the thing you don't like. The other one is like you get to roll again, or I'll give you a chance to roll again. Come on. Okay, you now have a short space of time to come up with a scenario with those 3 building blocks. Again, it doesn't have to be beautiful prose, just build yourself a little scenario when something interesting might happen and why. And you can obviously add on other things. Like, why has somebody got this? Why has somebody done this? Why are they feeling that way? What might happen next? Because when you write fiction, everything can be a bit of an inspiration, just like everything can be a dildo if you're brave enough. They say. This is all about kickstarting your imagination. Like, what will happen if this happens and that happens and this is there?
So you can do again, it could inspire inspiration. You could just it inspires.
I'm actually going to leave you in Sean's supervising hands for 2 minutes while I go and have a wee while you have a bit of space to do your
Yes, babes. Not rude. It's not loaded dice now. Actually, I don't think I've ever incorporated musical instrument. All the others I can say I've done, even a fighting microphone. No, I can't.
That sounds counts. That sounds counts.
Anyone alive? I'm getting rotor's block is the question. Yes.
Hey, what size do you need? I could knock it down and fucking
5. AliExpress.
You can say how many pairs you've got.
different colours.
Oh no, lots of colours different size.
I have these exact same ones, but a wedge instead of the heel as well. Exact same ones.
Oh, teacher's back. Stop.
Okay, what they'll be doing, we need to
Ask
pick out
everyone have writer's
spankings
block.
after. Okay. Writer's block is actually quite miserable.
Would this help with it though?
It could do. One of the sections in the book is what to do if you're stuck, and it involves like throwing a lot of weird shit and like, but something in the weird shit. Actually, if I try that, some of it's quite simple. It's like tell a story from a different character's perspective, center them. Okay, how about if there's an earthquake, or put in some paranormal activity? Because a lot of this sort of thing is like, well, that will fuck it up completely, so I don't want to do that. However, this looks more revealing. You can get very bogged down when writing a long story. It's like, well, they're not doing the same thing. I'm getting bogged down. What should we do with them?
Throw a vampire in there. Vampires are always fun.
Indeed, someone else throw a vampire. I think one of the options in one of the charts is throw a vampire in.
Unless you're haemophilia.
But again, there you could have a story. A haemophiliac falls in love with a vampire, or vice versa. What are you going to do? Safe vampirism? Teeth condoms?
That's a great idea. Just a file once a month.
Anything's possible.
No.
Okay.
Okay. You probably had enough time to think about that. Who wants to share? Come on.
The rope secured the harmonica securely in their mouth. The sound like needles on a hammer in their brain, knowing they shouldn't have told the lie, knowing she would take revenge, and she had in the most awful way.
Very good.
Nice.
Well done.
I'm now going to buy a harmonica.
Okay. Someone else?
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. You're lying in bed. You put the ring on yesterday evening, and it's taken all night to tune to your body. You slept well. It is 8:45 when the ring is switched on. You know, because pleasure is corkscrewing through your body. It builds and builds, waves of sensation that bounce and build. It is overwhelming, muscle spasming, and ultimately out of your control. It is never quite enough.
Oh, good. Someone else.
The ring of the alarm bell stirs him in the morning. He opens an eye and sees her stood calmly at the door. She looks down at him. You came in late. Again. It's time for your spanking.
Good, good. Someone more? Somebody else. Okay? What we got?
The talk was supposed to go flawless. Everything was double and triple checked. And now the entire meticulously planned evening was ruined by a fucking faulty microphone. She wrapped her hands around her partner's waist in an almost loving manner and whispered, "You know that has earned you the most brutal spanking of your life now." She went back and mockingly responded with an, "Oh no."
Very good. Well, you've all done really well. It's terrific. How are we doing for time, Sean?
You're good. You're at 4:30.
Marvellous.
We only need the room back at about 5.
Okay. Right, so we're going to switch it up a little bit to the possibilities for role play. Because, which didn't occur to me when I was originally doing the dice writing workshops and the dice writing book, until I started to sell copies to people at fetish fairs going, this has got some good ideas for role play. I'm like, oh, let me know how you get on. And I thought, well, actually it can work because immersive role play particularly. Sorry. Okay, we've got paranormal
Someone is
activity.
going
Do you want to?
Do you need to
No,
take
okay.
minutes?
Okay. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to have some more charts and we're going to see who can come up with an interesting role play scenario. Now I have picked the charts quite carefully for stuff that is feasible. Or at least if you engage your imagination, you can have a scenario. I'm not setting anything out of space or involved too many members of the public who might not want to play. So, also bearing in mind your own preferences and roles and your partner's preferences and roles, see what you might do. So for a scenario. The thing one of you likes the best is restraint. Number 2, impact play. So you're going to be pleasing either yourself or your partner here. Hopefully both of you have a similar taste here. Number 3, goods and tasks. I've written these down the wrong way around, but never mind. Number 4, orgasm control. Number 5, mind fuckery. I've got some appreciation over there. Number 6, domestic or personal service. Roll those dice. A lot of the charts involve elements that are open to fairly wide interpretation. Sometimes somebody you go like, oh, that means that. And actually, how about you do that with it? So it is all about opening yourself up to possibilities and seeing what happens. Has everybody got a number and got something? Right, next chart. So we need a good scrub afterwards. Where all this stuff could be taking place. 1, outside. 2, at work. 3, on a plane. 4, in a cave. 5, over the phone. 6, after a row. Roll those dice.
I mean, restraints on a plane refrain on due to health and safety.
Seatbelts?
They can, funnily enough. The handcuffs, they find.
Well, sometimes the crew have to tie you to your seat if you're being naughty.
No.
That's true. Might say that. I repeatedly asked for ice in my drink, therefore they restrained me.
Personal restraint.
Mm-hmm. Everyone got something? Final chart is who is one of the characters, and how does this impact on the story? Number 1, they are a pilot. I've actually got a possible match there, but I won't give you that. Number 2, they work in catering. Number 3, they're a dentist. Number 4, they are the head of HR. Number 5, a taxi driver. If you want to sing the Hanoi Rock song, do it later. And number 6, they're a member of Parliament.
Too easy. Give us a too tricky.
Which parliament?
We make this open-ended.
Head of HR.
Oh.
Says all around the world.
Yeah, you have a few minutes to see how all your scenarios come together.
Can I roll again? I've got the dentist. It's like, no. Head of HR.
Yeah, right. That was the one I was thinking.
If anybody wants a second roll for this one, you can roll one more time if you hate the day job stroke profession that you've got.
Dentist is home.
Remind me not to let you buy Rule 34 Volume 1. It's got a story about a dominatrix dentist in it.
No.
Must admit, I was out in a cold sweat editing that. Oh, no, I ran off. It's horrible.
No. We're talking to someone up to the age of 17 had dentistry without injections.
Yeah.
Yes, I decided my fear of needles could be overcome due to the amount of pain I was in from dentistry. It did take me a while. So, head of HR. You can roll that. On your phone. So, head of HR for the areas. Called HR.
You say this is a bit free for role play, not a story.
Yeah, imagine if you want to write as a story, you can. Otherwise, imagine the scenario you build for your role play. It's like, you know, hello, I'm a naughty MP, I'm a spanking or whatever. We're stuck in a cave together, and so we have to spank each other to keep warm. When you're doing role play, you can come up with all sorts of weird shit. And you can come up with greater or lesser reasons for why this is happening or it's going to happen.
You can't read them those, they make no sense. That's
A
like,
little bit longer.
I was going to get it.
I remember reading some of one of these lists talks about role plays, like you need to be on the same page because if one of you wants to be a cruel, sadistic tyrant from the Roman Empire, and the other one of you wants to be a mercenary, that's a problem. Yeah,
What are the other options apart from playing?
okay, I'll give you a little bit longer. Somebody's obviously come up with something entertaining over there. I mean, I don't know, you could be the head of HR of that Willy Wonka theme park. And you end up that poor girl who watches in the net flat, getting a spank for being naughty or something. If anybody here knows a poor woman, no, I don't mean no harm to a woman, she's using a possible example.
And I should really photo of the year.
Bless her. I kind of like look at it and know how she feels. So, events I've done in the past, like, what the fuck are we doing here?
I've seen it redone as a girl at the art centre, that very famous painting. I've seen it repainted like that.
Yes, I must admit the whole debacle, it was Firefest, lends itself to possible music fiction. That's something else to write.
Watch an entire group of bourgeois people get fucked over is one of my favourites.
Yeah, to be honest, it's the crew I was sorriest for. They had to suffer through the hell as well and they didn't get paid.
No.
Oh dearie me.
I should have got together and written a book.
They should have. At least in revenge fantasies.
Yeah.
Which are properly made. Are we for time, sure?
Quarter to week, just coming up to.
Okay, in which case, who wants to share what they've come up with? Go on then.
I just didn't know over a quick overview, like I said. Lone flight attendant with a single person flying on a holiday, Christmas or something, keeps sending back the food and drink, saying they're almost perfect, almost right, not quite. And after the final time, when she starts to get really upset, he follows her to the kitchen, shows her how to do it right, and bends her over the counter.
Good stuff.
Pilot masks and hoods and after a round, so I did. Air hostess has been back chatting the pilot over the way the situation over a customer had been handled. So obviously she then, after everyone's off the plane, then she's, like exchanging the using the scarf, the neck they've used. It's kind of yeah, these are the bits and
Good.
some
Sounds like fun.
yeah.
Yes.
Had midway through a stormy flight, the pilot noticed his co-pilot touching herself as the plane was shaking from the turbulence. The vibrations in the seat had begun to arouse her. A call came in from the destination airport, which the pilot answered. As he was talking to the flight control, the co-pilot had unzipped his trousers and had her head on his lap. He didn't stop her, but struggled to control himself while speaking to ground control.
Cool. Good. Hello? Well, you two was giggling away over there. What did you come up with?
That's
Very
amazing.
exciting. Head of HR punishes you for behaving in an unprofessional way by forcing you to clean office naked.
You got what?
Clean office naked.
Good, good.
We also had the head of HR, but there was a list of complaints about me. Misbehaviours, and she was jealous. She wanted to.
Dear you.
People in power and all that.
You can manage one more. Anyone else got anything to share?
You've got the master by the balls.
And your friend then drowned in his drink.
You smoke because you literally are able to just rip them off right now. None of his Tory peers can help him now. But you must show some restraint because you are on a plane after all. So I guess he also gets to keep his balls.
Yeah.
Jolly good. Right, I'm going to give all of you a round of applause because we had some terrific stuff here today. Good. I hope you've had fun. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
And if you develop anything you got today into a wonderfully